retired lieutenant colonel in the Israel Defense Forces, he held a wide range of operational and leadership roles throughout his military career, including serving as a combat commander in Lebanon and the Gaza Strip. He also served as a military diplomat, foreign relations expert, and as the IDF's international spokesperson, briefing global media and international audiences on Israel's security challenges and regional developments. Conricus was the first IDF officer seconded to the United Nations, where he provided military and strategic analysis for UN peacekeeping forces. Today, he is a senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, providing analysis on Middle Eastern security, Israeli defense policy, and the evolving challenges facing the region. Please welcome to the stage, Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Conricus.
Shalom, everyone. I am very grateful and I feel blessed to have a voice on behalf of my people, and I feel equally blessed to be here now together with you, amazing people at Christians United for Israel, for the 7th time. Now, usually I'm invited here to speak about the situation in the Middle East, to speak about different jihadi enemies of Israel and the US. But today, I'm not going to confine myself only to that, because the threats are more dangerous and they are imminent, both against Israel and the United States. Naturally, I will begin and I'll describe the state of the war against Israel, the achievements that we have made so far, and the remaining challenges. And I will do so with candor, no sugarcoating. I will also speak about the other challenges that are closer to home for all of you good people. Now, unlike the Iranian-funded terror organizations that we are fighting and defeating in the Middle East, the other threats are on US shores, and they are already inside American society. Last year, we celebrated CUFI's 20th anniversary. This weekend, we celebrated the 250th independence of this great nation, the United States of America. And a lot has changed since last year's summit. Most of it is for the better. And I want to name a few of the things that, when I compare last year to this year from a security perspective, how do we stand? For starters, Ali Khamenei, the so-called supreme leader of Iran, the former supreme leader of Iran, is dead. He is dead, and so are the main henchmen of that evil Iranian regime. Now, during the funeral proceedings this weekend, Tehran has virtually been painted in red, which is the color of revenge, according to Shiite culture, and several pledges have been made for retribution and vengeance. And these pledges have been made by official Iranian politicians and heads of their military. The usual chants of "Death to America" were amplified, and the masses, many of them, waved big posters with the president on them, calling for the assassination of President Trump. Now, a second important thing that has happened is that the Iranian nuclear weapons program has been dialed back years, and it is exposed under our watchful eyes. Now, I would have wanted to say destroyed, obliterated, never again to be spoken about, but we're not quite there yet, and we keep it interesting for the future. Together, in a historic and really a world-class effort, the U.S. and Israel punched a hole through Iranian regime defenses, obliterated their air defenses, their missile launchers, and exposed Iran for future attacks. But the job is far from over. To be clear, neither the Middle East nor the region or the world will know peace and prosperity as long as that evil Iranian regime exists. Regretfully, the MOU, which is acronym for Memorandum of Understanding, I and a few other people call it the Memorandum of Misunderstanding. That MOU forfeits many of the hard-earned battlefield achievements, and sadly, it provides the regime with desperately needed cash and a lifeline to continue to oppress their own people and to bully the region. All this in return for the temporary and conditional reopening of the Hormuz Strait. The Iranian people is still suffering, suffocating under the boot of their Islamist oppressors. The Iranian regime is still the world's biggest state sponsor of terrorism, and they are still chanting death to America and death to Israel. For how long? Another new and positive development is that for the first time in history, there's a realistic chance for peace between Israel and the land of the cedars, Lebanon. Thanks to the bravery, sacrifice, and skill of the IDF, and under the wise leadership, indeed, believe me, the fighters on the ground are worth every round of applause. So under their sacrifice and skill, and under the wise stewardship of President Trump and Secretary of State Rubio, who also are worthy of our applause, what used to be the most vaunted and cruel Iranian proxy, Hezbollah, is now the weakest that it has ever been. We, and I mean Israel, the state of Lebanon, the US, we now have them on the ropes. And the coming months, they will determine whether Iran gets to continue to spread war and instability in Lebanon, or whether the Lebanese people will finally exercise sovereignty. And we might have an opportunity to chart a brave path towards peace between us. I think we all understand why the Iranian regime is so desperate to create that link between the Strait of Hormuz and Lebanon and Hezbollah. Why? Because they are terrified that 35 years and billions of dollars of investment and prestige will go down the drain from their perspective. That's what's at stake. Currently, Israeli soldiers are deployed approximately 7 miles into Lebanese territory. They're discovering and dismantling Hezbollah's military infrastructure. As of last week, we're doing it with the permission and support of the Lebanese government. Now, what we're talking about here is a sprawling network. Think entire neighborhoods underground, a sprawling network of tunnel complexes that Hezbollah excavated through solid rock. All of them, without mistake, all of them are hidden underneath civilian homes and buildings. These tunnel complexes were built by Hezbollah with Iranian help and Iranian money in order to fire rockets at Israeli civilians, to prepare and stage attacks for Hezbollah stormtroopers into Israel, which luckily didn't happen on October 7, but it could have. And they're designed to serve as command bunkers, and drone launch pads into Israel. Thankfully, none of that is going to happen. Now, it's not going to happen, not because the Iranians or Hezbollah don't yearn for it and dream about it with every fiber of their being, and it's definitely not going to happen because UN peacekeepers did their job in Lebanon. It won't happen for the simple reason because the IDF is defeating Hezbollah on the battlefield and making Israelis safe in their homes again. What needs to happen is the following. Israel needs to maintain and enhance military pressure on Hezbollah in all of Lebanon. The Lebanese government, using its armed forces, they need to man up, confront Hezbollah, and exercise their legitimate dominance and sovereignty over their country. The U.S. and other regional partners need to continue to squeeze Hezbollah's financial networks, squeeze it so hard that Hezbollah will be forced to lay down their weapons. If that happens, and if Iranian interference is kept at bay, then we have a chance at peace. Now, regretfully, not all the news are positive, obviously. The situation in Gaza is bad, and ladies and gentlemen, it is unsustainable. Hamas refuses to disarm. They're violating the Trump peace plan and UN Security Council Resolution 2803. On the ground, for the time being, tactically, Israel is in control. And we're making good use of the time. We're hunting the last remaining Hamas terrorists who perpetrated the greatest massacre of Jews since the Holocaust. We're hunting them, and we're bringing them swift justice, biblical style. Similar to the situation in Lebanon, Israeli troops are systematically uncovering and destroying hundreds of miles of Hamas tunnels under Gaza. Thanks to the IDF and President Trump and his team of negotiators, all Israeli hostages are finally home in Israel. And that, I must say, as a person who prays in private and not necessarily in congregation, I want to thank you in this room, and I want to take the opportunity on behalf of hostages, their families, and the entire nation of Israel. A lot of people didn't think that that would be achievable. A lot of people didn't think that we would be able to get all of the hostages home. Granted, we would have wanted all of them alive. Regretfully, many of them came back murdered from Hamas captivity, but we got all of them back home, and I have no doubt that it wouldn't have happened without prayers, your prayers, and I thank you for it. And just to show the power and the beauty of life, yesterday, in a especially moving ceremony, two Israeli survivors of Hamas captivity, Sasha Trupanov and Sapir Cohen, they were married in Israel. Surrounded by family, by loved ones, and many other hostage survivors. And that is a beautiful way to defeat terrorism. Now, today, Hamas is but a hollow shell of what it was before October 7. But as long as Hamas exists, is armed, and controls Gaza, neither Arabs nor Jews will know peace, and the chances of war grow each day. Why? Very simple. Because Hamas is a binary organization. They are incapable of moderation or flexibility. What is their goal? Their goal is the annihilation of the Jewish state. So what should we expect in this difficult situation? I think, unfortunately, we need to expect continued Hamas oppression of the people in Gaza. We should expect that Egypt, their Arab Muslim neighbor, continue in their cruelty, and they'll continue not to refuse to allow people out of this war-torn area. I think we should expect the world in general to blame Israel for the suffering. And if enough time goes by, Hamas will regain strength to return to their jihad against Israel. This is, of course, unless we put an end to Hamas first. Therefore, the bottom line in terms of security, just a little bit more than 1,000 days after October 7, can be summed up like this. Things are better today than a year ago, and last year was better than the year before it. We still have our work cut out for us, but as you all know, in Israel, we are neither shy of work or of fighting, and we will continue. Now, what worries me almost just as much as a jihadi terrorist armed to their teeth with weapons, trying to kill Jews in our native homeland, may surprise you a little bit. I worry, as an Israeli, that many states in Europe have already fallen to the Islamist conquest without a fight and without really knowing that that is what has happened. I worry that a similar fate awaits the U.S. I see worrying signs of homegrown and imported politicians in the U.S. who normalize and legitimize Jew hatred, who poison the minds of young Americans to hate their own culture, heritage, and religion, and seek to undermine the very foundations of this Judeo-Christian free society that you have built here. The assault on the alliance between the United States and Israel is powerful and gathering steam, from left and from right. Islamists masquerading as Democrats and Jew haters disguised as American patriots. We all know their names. Our covenant is going through the stress test of its life. For the sake of Israel and for the US, our alliance must hold. The forces who seek to undermine our alliance are also secret or semi-secret haters of America. Granted, an Israel without America is definitely a weaker Israel, and I don't want to see that reality. But an America without Israel is also a weaker America. And the enemies of the United States all pray for that to happen, for America to turn its back on Israel. On that topic, I must say that America has chosen some strange bedfellows lately. Qatar and Pakistan brokering deals with Iran. Turkey's wannabe Sultan Erdogan, lauded as a strong leader and NATO ally of the US, and Syria suggested as a nation that should take care of Hezbollah in Lebanon. All the while, traditional and loyal allies of the US in the region, like Israel and the United Arab Emirates, are demoted and even shunned publicly. That's neither a good nor a wise look. The battle over Western civilization is on. This battle This is a battle that is waged on university campuses and schools, in the established and social media, in Congress and in the Senate, in town halls across America, and union headquarters in New York and in the great state of Texas. It is not a battle that you can allow yourselves to lose. In this battle, I can think of very few organizations more battle-ready and crucial than Christians United for Israel. Christians United for Israel, you matter, and the enemy knows it. That's why you're being targeted. Another organization that matters and is in the crosshairs of the forces of darkness in America is AIPAC. They matter too, and they are feared by our enemies. You know, as I was preparing this year's speech, I reread my notes from last year, and something pleasant struck me. Almost all of the things that I prayed for and suggested from this very podium that should happen actually became reality. I asked for and I prayed first and foremost for the return of our hostages. That has since been achieved. I asked for joint strikes on Iran. I asked for the weakening of Hamas and Hezbollah, and I voiced a genuine Israeli yearning for peace and prosperity for all of God's children in the region. So I guess there's something special about prayers and requests being made at the CUFI summit. So I suggest we make another list and we remeasure it next year. So on Iran, maximum pressure on the Iranian regime and maximum support for the Iranian people until the regime breaks or the people take back their country. No appeasement deals, no protracted negotiations, and no tolerating Iranian regime aggression. On Lebanon, maximum pressure on Hezbollah and maximum support for the legitimate Lebanese government and their armed forces. And we maintain that until Hezbollah is disarmed and Lebanon is returned to its people, and for peace to be forged for the benefit of everybody. On Gaza, short and simple, implement United Nations Security Council Resolution 2803 to the letter, and that starts with disarming Hamas or prepare for war. And finally, for our great Western civilization, strengthen your communities, your families, and care for your young and their education. Stay proud and steadfast in your faith. Don't fight alone, because you are not alone. Fight. Fight in church, in Congress, in media, and on the campuses. Fight for good, for Israel, and for the strength and success of the United States of America. Fight because our future depends on it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.